I like to tell people that I weighed 370 pounds, but the truth was I weighed 410 at my heaviest. When your doctor tells you, you're probably not going to see 30, that kind of motivates you to do something. My parents had divorced, and I had to grow up rather quickly. I had a little brother that I had to help look after, and I turned to food. That was my comfort. I could feel something was going on. I started to get made fun of more at school. I didn't really fit in. I couldn't do PE anymore. And it takes a toll on you as a kid, because then you start to eat more, and you just want to stay home. It makes you lazy, it makes you complacent, and that's what had happened to me. I was at my heaviest about a year and a half ago, which was after high school. I'd say when I graduated high school, I was probably 350 pounds, and things just got worse from there. I wasn't moving around a whole lot because I didn't have to walk, the hallways of school. You don't realize what you're doing to yourself until it's already done. And by that time, you have to work so hard to try to reverse the years that you've taken onto your body. The weight it takes a negative toll on you. You're miserable all the time. You're never happy. I don't remember a time waking up and looking in the mirror and smiling. I looked in the mirror and I saw somebody I didn't even recognize anymore. On the inside, I was 6'6", built like an all-star linebacker, And then I wake up and look in the mirror and I come to a harsh reality that I'm not that guy. The person that I am had let himself go. I didn't want to go out in public, period. I didn't want to be seen. I really didn't know what I was going to do with my life, and I had witnessed a pretty bad car accident, and I decided to come to my local fire department. I wanted to help. I felt helpless. And I remember my meeting with my fire chief and being 410 pounds, and him saying, it doesn't matter how big you are, you're going to get through it. And, that made me feel good on the inside, that somebody, still believed in me, no matter my size. I went through the fire academy, and as hard as it was physically, I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. Even if I got stuck, I pulled myself through. I was assigned to search and rescue. And I was crawling through the house, and they actually had a laundry chute built in the floor. And I remember my arm going through the chute. This is it. If I don't pull myself out of this house, you're gonna risk other people's lives when they have to come in and get you. So I made that decision. You're gonna get out, or you're gonna tear the house down trying. I managed to get myself free. I got out of the house, and from that day forward, I was told, unless something changes, I can't let you go on house fires anymore. You're more of a hazard now than you are doing anybody any good. And that was the turning point. When you have a scare like that, it changes your life. Me and Newt actually met, I think it was 8th grade. He was our star quarterback forever. 4 years after we graduated, I had to go to him and say, I need help. I don't know who else to turn to. I saw what you've done to yourself and how you've built your body almost into a temple. I need that help. I need you to help me.
He didn't really know exactly where he was going or how to get there, but he just knew that he was having a hard time getting to at least the first goal that he had in mind.
My goal was, I'm gonna drop 50 pounds. So that would have put me at 360. Well, Newt replied, no. He goes, you're gonna drop down to 260. And I'm, what? That's 150 pounds, there's no way.
And I told him just to get into motion. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a gym membership. You don't need to be going to a gym every single day. If you can get out and just burn calories, sweat, that's the number one goal for sure. And I think with him being in the fire station and stuff, it's a playground in here too. So, he was able to kind of get after it in here and make fun for us.
Everything I can relate back to an exercise you can do in the gym. And I remember Newt, I'd ask him about an exercise. Can I substitute it with something at the firehouse? Instead of doing a curl, with something there, can I grab an air pack and do a curl with it? The weight's about the same, and that's where it began.
Rudy's one of those types of individuals that once you get him going, there's just no stopping him. So that first 6 months transformed him into, a completely different person.
No matter what I was doing, I'd make sure that I worked out somehow. I got down to 360 and was like, he's right. I can't stop here. Kept going, kept losing, and I took pictures along the way.
Him being as big as he was, and then dropping 150 pounds, and just I feel like just the body language itself is probably the most impactful thing as far as being able to see how much happier of a person and how motivated he is as a person now.
And then I look at my pictures of who I was before, and it keeps pushing me through the day. knowing that if I could do that, you know, with the help of Newt, I can do anything. I felt like Superman.
From a year ago, him being questionable whether or not he could even do his job as far as going to fight fires and save people's lives, to now be able to go without a question, be able to do his job. I mean, that's probably one of the best feelings in the world, to be able to kind of help somebody out and kind of get them on the right path to being able to do what they love to do.
Last time that I weighed in, I was at 255, I think my lowest, and I've put on about 5 pounds of muscle from that. I went from a size 56 pant size to 38. My shirts were 5Xs and they were starting to stretch on me. I have dropped down to an extra large shirt. It's the most joyous feeling I can explain. You know, when I'm walking away from somebody's house and walking back to my truck and I have to keep tightening my pants, you know, that's something that I, you know, can feel. And knowing that I could make it to their house, not be tired, make a difference in their life. You know, how many lives did I just affect? And I like who I see in the mirror. You know, I look back and I smile and I say, I did this. It's a lifelong journey now. It didn't just turn into a year of my life. It's turned into the rest of my life.